Al Jackson, President of the Board of Directors of Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas and Vice President of Bank One, Texas. I am now honored to begin the 1996 Spirit of Generations Award Luncheon. I have the privilege of calling upon Rabbi Gerald Klein from Temple Emmanuel to give our invocation. Rabbi?
As we gather together with delight and thankfulness, we pause to thank God for compassion and caring. We are responsible one for another, and therefore we ask God to continue to bestow His blessing and guidance on the dual, twofold purpose of this joyous assembly. Upon the senior citizens of Greater Dallas, as they continue to grow in numbers, in vigor, and in creativity, we ask God's blessing. And upon our co-worker, our friend, our exemplar, our counselor, our neighbor, Bob Strauss, for all of his remarkable accomplishments near and far, we offer our thanks. With one heart and one voice, we honor Bob Strauss, and each one of us basks in reflected glory. Blessed art thou, O God, the God of all of us, for each and every day, for this day, and for life itself. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. I would now like to introduce the head table. I will begin from my far right, your left. I will ask each person to stand as I call their name and remain standing until all introductions are complete. Please hold your applause until the end. Molly Bogan, Executive Director of Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas. Cactus Pryor, very popular Texas humorist. Reverend Von Seal Hill, Pastor, Rice Chapel AME Church. Ted Strauss, Senior Managing Director of Bear Stearns and brother of our honoree. Joe Dury, North Texas Executive Director of PCA Health Plans of Texas Incorporated. We also have Dale Jones, who is CEO of Halliburton Companies. Cindy Hudgens, Chairman, 1996 Spirit of Generations Luncheon and Community Volunteer. Bob Strauss, our honoree. Helen Strauss, the lovely wife of our honoree. Gordon Caswell, President, Baylor Healthcare System Foundation. Mayor Ron Kirk is currently lighting the city Christmas tree and should be here within 20 minutes. He promised. Rabbi Gerald Klein, Rabbi Emeritus, Temple Emmanuel. Lindland Adams, founder, Spirit of Generations, former president of Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas, and community volunteer. I present the head table. Please enjoy your lunch, visit with those at your table, and we will begin the program shortly thereafter. Thank you. Well, with our time today, I'm going to start the program now. If you're still enjoying your dessert, please continue to do so. There's additional coffee on your table, and the servers will now be leaving. I have the pleasure of introducing the chairman of today's event, Cindy Hudgens. Cindy has been on our board since 1993 and has served in many capacities. Last year, she was the secretary of our board of directors. Her influence in the community is widespread through her efforts as chairman of the Taka Ball, various positions as president and board of governors in both the Alzheimer's Association and the Dallas Symphony, as well as numerous other local and national organizations. Our agency is truly blessed to have Cindy take such a leadership position with senior citizens. Cindy Hudgens.
Thank you. We're so glad you came to our party today. This is the third year for the Spirit of Generations Luncheon. This is a celebration of living, of lifetime contributions, and of the senior citizens of Greater Dallas, a terrific agency. This day was made possible, as all days like this are, by an energetic committee. I want them to stand. I'm not going to name them. They're listed in your program, and I know they're going to be hesitant, but stand up, and I think everyone could look to the rear of the room and find them there, because when you're special and you work, you get to sit at the back of the room. So if you would stand. And I also want the staff of senior citizens to stand. Would you please stand up? We thank all of you. One of the most diligent of the committee is right there at the top. That's Mr. Dale Jones. He's a new member of the Board of Senior Citizens. He's the vice chairman of the Halliburton Company, and he's the corporate chairman of the Spirit of Generations Luncheon. I want you to meet a very nice man, Dale Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege, on the behalf of over 200,000 older adults in the Metroplex, to thank the investors who have contributed to the success of this luncheon today. And I hope you'll take the program, which is at your table, and look through and see the names of those companies and individuals who have provided special support for this senior citizens function. I want to call your attention to two of the premier underwriters. PCA Health Plans of Texas is a very fast-growing HMO in North Texas. With over 35,000 members at this time, it currently serves the commercial and Medicaid market. And next year, PCA will begin providing HMO coverage to Medicare recipients. Also, Baylor Healthcare Systems is one of our premier underwriters. Baylor has 39 different facilities in the Metroplex, 11 of which are senior care centers, with 3 more under construction. Also listed are 2 benefactors, Syntex Corporation and Kimberly-Clark Corporation. Now, I need to say a special word of thanks also to the CEO of Syntex, Larry Hirsch, who worked on our committee and was very diligent, very effective. The mission of the senior citizens of Greater Dallas is to improve the quality of life of older adults in our community. And that's done through more than 10 major programs. It was my privilege in preparation for this job to visit virtually every major program of the senior citizens of Dallas and to see how truly effective this organization is in serving the needs. They provide more than 500,000 hours of volunteer service through the organization. They provide services to more than 7,000 minor children. And I want you to meet, and she will be coming to make some remarks, the executive director who is in charge basically of running the senior citizens of Greater Dallas, a person whose enthusiasm for this work is contagious, Molly Bogan. Molly?
Senior citizens of Greater Dallas turned 35 this year. But maybe what's more significant, the first baby boomers turned 50. They received those dreaded birthday greetings from AARP. You know you can't hide from AARP. But since the mid-1940s, this first crop of baby boomers has been popularizing everything from consumer products to various lifestyles. So we at Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas, using our incredible powers of deductive reasoning, know that they are going to popularize aging. Everyone in this room will be clamoring to be a senior citizen. Now, of course, some of you are saying she's got to be kidding. There's not a group in Dallas climbing that Stairmaster faster away from aging than people in their 50s. We concede there's some truth there. But we at Senior Citizens remember all of the other unlikely things that this early group of boomers made popular. Mouse ears and that dippy song in their childhood, hippie years on dirty mattresses, listening to In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Does anyone remember that? And then the move to the yuppie years and actually enjoying meals with no fat. And along the way, as we all know, they invented parenthood. So maybe the boomers will reinvent aging, and maybe it's beginning to happen. How many of you watch Frasier? By far, it seems to me that Niles and Frasier are beaten out by the father as someone you would want to spend an evening with. And then in the world of advertising, maybe a minuscule change is taking place. Yes, most models are still 19 and weigh 70 pounds, but now at least we have Tina Turner for Hanes. Of course, just as there are many triumphs and things to celebrate with aging, unfortunately too, often there are heartbreaks and losses. At Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas, we work with the vibrant, active retiree, and we also offer services for the frail, incapacitated elderly. Now, thanks to the generosity and creativity of Betty Jo Taylor and staff member Elizabeth Childress, and because of the extreme generosity of Dr. Pepper Bottling Company of Texas and Jim and Julie Turner, we have a video to show you that describes the 10 programs of Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas. And for those of you who know Jim Turner at Dr. Pepper, you know he is always on the cutting edge. And I want you to know that Jim was quite proud and very happy to receive his birthday card from AARP this year. Now for the video.
You never know how many lives you touch. In the greater Dallas area, we are all connected to each other, from the younger to the older. Through Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas, the senior source. Today, there are simply more of us older adults, almost 1 in every 8 in the North Texas area. In another generation, it will be 1 in every 4. We are a sizable and growing resource. Many of us with skills, health, and a need to get involved, doing something that makes a difference. We do need each other, younger and older. That's why there are intergenerational programs like Foster Grandparents, which gives children who are hospitalized or disabled, or young people in trouble, someone to love and trust. At Children's Medical Center's low birth weight clinic, Mary Hill works 20 hours a week, helping both mothers and babies.
It's so important because we lose some premature babies, and they are special care babies because they are not fully developed when they're born. And look at Roland Jr. now. You couldn't believe out of 4 surgeries that he's looking as well as he is. And the more you hold them, the more secure they get. So it's really important that we let them know that we love them. a lot of TLC, tender loving care. That's what we are here for.
Some active retirees are offering their services to nonprofit organizations through RSVP, the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program. More than 3,000 RSVP volunteers work in the Dallas area, doing everything from assisting the Attorney General's office in combating fraud to working with childhood immunization, feeding families in crisis, and recycling medical supplies for hospitals overseas.
I'm very interested in this program, Medicine, because I spent 28 years in Africa, and in Africa, that's a desperate need. And then I asked to work in the food bank, and then I asked to work in a senior adult services program, which works primarily with older people, delivering food to them and things like that. So I got caught up in it. I really like it.
The Dallas area also gets a gift. Each year, RSVP volunteers donate over 400,000 hours of community service to more than 320 nonprofit organizations. Another intergenerational program takes volunteers to elementary schools. Teachers select children with special needs, and off-hour rockers, senior volunteers, meet with them every week, just to listen and to care. Even a shy kindergartner responds to the warmth of volunteer Willie Fay Lee at John Quincy Adams Elementary School.
Now, Keith is not a big talker. Each time seems like he talks a little more and a little more. And maybe the little things that we give may not seem very much to us, but it might mean a lot to a child, you know. Now, that's the way I feel about it.
But some older adults need a way to earn extra income, a full or part-time job. The Senior Employment Source offers employment counseling for people over 55. A good job was what Bill Thurston wanted, and using resources at Senior Citizens, he changed careers and got one. He used the employment hotline, found help updating his resume and honing his networking skills.
I don't think there are any limits at all. I don't care if you're 20 years old or 60 or 70. It's just whatever you can do. I believe that we can all do that if we want to. And, but now, a few years ago, I didn't believe that. But today I do.
Counseling programs at Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas help with other kinds of challenges. There's elder support, assisting caregivers for older people with the many kinds of decisions that often need to be made: where to live, how to cope with medical problems, or develop a care plan. There's the Women's Financial Clinic, a good place for a financial checkup for women 55 and older, to explore their options in budgeting, insurance, retirement resources, and legal matters. There's AGE, offering advocacy and education for both men and women. Another program gives seniors with limited incomes a chance to earn a small stipend working as a senior companion. For the companion, it's more than money. It's a chance to be needed again. And for the elderly, it's a chance to stay on in their own homes. For a woman who's lost virtually all of her sight, Rose Ledesma has become literally her eyes.
I make sure she doesn't stumble or fall, and that's what I'm here for. I just say, grab my arm, and I lead her and I guide her. When we get to the steps, I tell her first step, second step, third step. I tell her, you're my second mother, because I get attached with them. Because I treat them like I treat my mother. She was here.
Others may need more than a home companion. They may have outlived their family members and have no one to turn to. They need a legal guardian to assist in making decisions, handling personal affairs. The Volunteer Guardianship Program provides volunteers like Grace Herring, who are willing to become a legal guardian for an incapacitated older adult.
There are more people out there who have no one than we ever suspect or expect, and these people that we serve have no one, no family, no friends anymore. They've outlived whatever support system they ever had. I hope we don't end up that way, but for those who do, they're still human beings. They still need to be loved and cared for.
And when an older person goes to a nursing home, Senior Citizens of Greater Dallas is there. Nursing home ombudsmen visit older people like this 93-year-old resident to look into any problems or complaints, anything from unanswered call buttons to complaints of abuse. Ombudsman Richard Gonzalez.
What am I? I'm a friend. I'm a companion. I'm a confidant, you know. You're everything to them because you're the only thing they do have. We all need each other, definitely we do. Because there comes a time when we're not young anymore.
And through senior citizens of Greater Dallas, the Senior Source, you can get involved. You can be a part of a community where each of us touches another. Children, younger and older people across the generations, giving and receiving, sharing skills and resources. Like a pebble in the water, you'll never know how far you can reach.
I hope you enjoyed the video. I think it provides a great synopsis of the programs and services that senior citizens provide. Now we'll have Lynelyn Adams introduce Cactus Pryor. Lynelyn?
Thank you, Hal, and thank you, Jim and Julie Turner and the Dr. Pepper Bottling Company. That really was a superb video and does show the many, many ways senior citizens of Greater Dallas affects our community. We do a lot of serious work in senior citizens, but we like to have a little humor whenever possible, and our executive director certainly showed the way in that too today. But I have the privilege of introducing a Texas humorist and raconteur. He began his career as a radio broadcaster at the end of World War II and has been a popular humorist on radio ever since. He is also an accomplished MC and after-dinner speaker. He wows all audiences all over the state of Texas, to the Capitol in Washington, D.C., and to the capital of show business in Hollywood. And all that while, he has also written 2 books and has been in 2 John Wayne movies and has provided entertainment for 5 presidents of the United States. I'm delighted to introduce a Texas institution, Richard Cactus Pryor. Mr. Pryor.
Thank you, Lynn. That was a much warmer introduction than I had when I came in the hotel. A fellow named Leon Lett standing out in front trying to sell his autograph for $50. I said, not 1 cent over 25. It was December 25th, 1918, when a star shone brightly over the home of a German immigrant and his native Texas wife in Lockhart, Texas. Wise men from the University of Texas and a semi-wise man from Texas A&M followed that star to a location between Black's Barbecue and Krautz's Meat Market. 3 kings of Orient came from afar, all the way from Orient, Texas, near Amarillo. They were Billy Bob King, Bubba King, and Wonton King. And there they found, wrapped in Levi Strauss swaddling clothes, a prince of a man, Robert Schwartz Strauss. And the boy's mother said unto them, "You blew it, guys. The kid was born October 19th. But while you're here, how about a contribution to the kid's education?" The Strausses didn't have a manger. Bob was born in a 14-room mansion. But he moved to a 1-room log cabin as soon as he realized it would be politically expedient. What can I say about this remarkable man that he hadn't said himself? Humble. Bob has humility he's never used yet. A servant to his nation. Bob Strauss is to government what Senator Packwood is to hormones. a shining light for we senior citizens. He told me just a few moments ago, Cactus, when I become a senior citizen, I want to keep on keeping on. A man who has overcome numerous handicaps. We both have a hearing problem, and I remember we were riding up the hill country one day, and I said to Bob, "Is this Wimberley?" He said, "No, it's Thursday." I said, "Me too. Let's stop and get a cold one." The husband and partner of wonderful Helen. How proud she was when Bob was given the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1980, which he daily wears so proudly on his lapel. How sympathetic she was when he discovered that it wouldn't get him into football games. Robert Strauss fathered 3 children, Robert, Richard, and Susan. And then there's little Johnny, but that's another story. Advisor and confidant to American presidents. How valuable his contributions. Told President Kennedy, "Send him ashore to Bay of Pigs." Told LBJ, "Lift the dog by his ears for the photographers." Told President Nixon, "Tape those telephone calls." Told a young Bill Clinton, "Invest in recreational land." Told Russian President Yeltsin, "Vodka will relax you." Bob Strauss, a man of family who respects and remembers his elders. As Bob says, "When I go, I want to go peacefully in my sleep, as did my grandfather, not screaming hysterically like the 4 passengers in his car." Remember that, Bob? A man of ambition, though he never fulfilled his mother's prophecy of becoming the first Jewish governor of Texas. But then neither did Cleety Williams. Bob Strauss, ambassador to Russia, bringing American-type businesses to that poverty-stricken nation, like Bob Strauss Kentucky Fried Borscht, Bob Strauss Taco Cabano cabbage, Bob Strauss new car used lot. And the Russian said, "Mr. Strauss, when will my car be ready?" And Bob said, 10 years from today. And the man said, "In the morning or the afternoon?" Bob said, 10 years from now, what difference does it make? He said, "Because the plumber's coming in the morning." Story like that. I had to use it. Now, frankly, I was prepared to roast Bob here today. I mean, Bob and I go way back. I first met Bob so long ago that both Exxon and Jerry Jones were humble. But Molly Bogan said, "We want to praise Bob, not roast him." So I will not tell some of the stories I was going to tell on Bob, like the story he relates every Christmas season about Mary and Joseph's trip to pay their taxes. And Bob uses it as an example of the liberation of women even in those ancient times. As he said, it was written that Joseph walked while Mary rode his ass all the way to Bethlehem. Well, I'm not going to tell that story. Nor will I tell the story about Bob playing a round of golf with President Clinton and President Bush after the election before this one, and they kind of wanted to bury the wounds. They were playing on a beautiful country club course, fully integrated, of course. Lovely day, having a good time, reminiscing, except the foursome in front of them was indescribably slow. So at the end of 9 holes, they go in the pro shop, and President Bush goes to the pro and said, I don't want to complain, but I got to tell you that the foursome in front of us is just unbelievably slow. I wonder if you could do something about it. And the pro said, well, I'm sorry, Mr. President. I should have told you today's Tuesday, and Tuesday's the day that